Hey there, it's Nick Acosta, your broker here at Downtown Expert Realty. Hope you're having a great weekend. I just wanted to go ahead and walk you through the vacant land contract. First, what I've done is, I'm going to show you, is that I pulled up the property you gave me with the MLS number. And what I do is when I create a loop, and dot loop, I'll show you, I go in and I highlight this, the property address, and the MLS number, and I do copy, which you can right click on your mouse, copy, and I'm going to paste that into dot loop. So I'm here in dot loop, and to be exact, actually, let's just make this more formal. And then you would be under your name, but in this case, it's going to be under the admin level, Downtown Expert. You're going to go here and click add loop in dot loop, and I'm going to paste the address in there, and actually it's going to pull this up, which is showing right here. So I'm going to select this and hit continue. The type of loop, you're helping the buyer, so this would be a buy-in loop. Hit continue. All right, we don't need to upload a photo. That's not necessary. So you click on done. It's creating the loop here in dot loop. All right, and you want to go in here to the view the loop, because we're going to go work in here. All right, first things first, make sure with your buyer that you get the wire fraud prevention notice and the COVID-19 in-person access. I know this is a vacant lot, but this is just a requirement that we have on the brokerage level for compliance. And so I'm going to get the information from your text message that you sent me with her name, Belinda Georges, and the email. But we'll add that in a minute. Right. So actually, let's go ahead and do this one first. So let's go into COVID-19, just to get in the habit of doing this. Well, we're not the listing agent. So we're going to go here. We'll X out of this. We're the cooperating brokerage in this case. And you would fill in Downtown Expert Realty LLC. And in this case, it's the prospect. If you were doing a listing, it would be listing brokerage, then us, and then it would be owner, landlord, or seller. But in this case, it's cooperating brokerage, prospect, potential tenant buyer. Potential tenant buyer is going to be, as you said, Belinda Georges. So I'm going to put her name in there. All right. And this is just to go over they are aware of the national emergency caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, coronavirus pandemic involving nature health crisis. All right. And assumption of risk. So here is where we're going to assign this field. Well, it's not going to be the owner, it's going to be a prospect, which is the buyer. We're going to add the person. I'm going to type in Belinda Georges and her email, which you gave me, which is BELIMANNO@verizon.net. And she's the buyer. All right, we don't have to add any of this other stuff here. It's not required. So we're going to add the person. So now she'll be able to sign here. So what you're going to do in this case, remember I think I may have told you in onboarding, when it comes to dot loop, always remember to save. So we're going to click save. We're going to go back. All right. So we got that done. So that's going to be, we're going to share that, but not right now. Wire fraud prevention. This is necessary because this makes our buyers and sellers, because we use this for listings as well, puts them on notice that always independently verify wire instructions sent via email. So if they get an email from the title company, like I said in the text message and quotations, make sure you have the buyer pick up the phone and call the valid phone number of the title company to get the wiring instructions. We're going to go ahead and put Downtown Expert Realty up here, LLC. This is something that we just were required to do because we want to make sure that we make all our buyers and sellers aware of potential wire fraud, because that's a very, very big situation nowadays, especially after COVID happened. It's even worse than it was before. And you see how it's auto-populating. We're going to assign the field. So you just go up here to Belinda Georges, since we already added her, and you click on save. Always remember save, because dot loop does not auto-save itself, and you lose the work if you didn't auto-save it. So we got those two done. Those are the ones that we were, are required. Okay. I'm not sure why this is not submitted, but anyways, all right. So we're gonna go ahead and add a document because we're gonna be doing a vacant land contract. So we're gonna go to templates, and we will go to Florida Interactive Forms. Okay. It's a little bit different than a residential contract. All right. So we're gonna click on vacant land contract. This is provided by the Florida Association of Realtors. All right, and it'll import it. Click OK, just like that. All right, because we don't need this one. So what I'm going to do actually here, I'm going to sorry about that. All right, so we're going to go here to archive this because we're not using that contract. But let's go into the vacant land contract. All right, and then we don't need this autofill. We're going to just put this stuff in here. I don't ever use autofill. I just manually type it in. All right, so we're going to go to the MLS and look and see if we have Florida Build LLC. Let me just make sure here real quick. I'm gonna click on the tax ID to take me to the tax. Or 1 second. All right, so let's see. I apologize. All right, so we got the Florida Build LLC as the owner. We're gonna copy this, and seller is this. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. This would be, that's the buyer section. This is okay. Florida Build LLC will go right up here. These contracts look a little different than, like I said, the residential contracts. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the buyer here, which would be Belinda Georges. Let me just double check, make sure that I have that right. I believe so. I'm always which we should always do this, be overly careful because contracts can get us in trouble if they're not done right. That's what we have, errors and omissions, and we don't want to have to use that insurance, if we don't have to. All right, so this is the address. I'm going to take it right here from the MLS. We need to always make sure we indicate the property address. And then the legal description. Let's go back here. All right, the legal description is right here. Legal description. And I'm going to copy and paste it so that I make sure that I don't make any mistakes. So we're going to put this here. It'll pop up like this. Edit the text. There we go. All right. I believe this was Highlands County, right? Yep, Highlands County. We're going to put in the county right here, Highlands County. Actually, let me just change this. be easier to read on your screen as well. So let me just. All right. So we got that. Get out of this edit text. Sorry, this. For some reason, I wanted to do that weird thing. All right. We'll go back here and tell us this section, which is 35. Let's see if I can make this larger as well for you to see. So where I can see 35 is the section. I'm going to copy that. Sorry, go back in here. This is just, we're going to go over this, of course, tomorrow evening in our training session. But I just still want to point this out as we go through this right now. The township, 34S. And I'll show you how to get that tomorrow. Okay, so township. And then range, RNG range, which will be here, 28E. I'm going to copy and paste that so I don't make a mistake. And this is important to put this here in your contract because you want to make sure that they are buying the land that is on record in the county. And then the next thing they asked for was the real property ID number. So that's going to be like, it's sort of like a, this would be it right here. Property ID. Copy this. All right, so we got this property ID. Let's make sure we put this in here. And you have to click on edit text. That's the way it does it, but it's in there now. One second. Let me take this out of here. Save that and put it. It's not wanting to line up for me. I apologize. All right. All right. So this is we're going to fill out now the title company, escrow agent, which would be the title company. All right, and we're going to get this from here. So it's Premier Title. Let me go back in here. Well, yeah. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to copy it like this. So we're going to go, Jessica Rosenbaum, right? Let's get this for her info. Yeah, Jessica Rosenbaum. All right. And I'm going to just write this in. This is what I always do. Sorry, I'm not sure why it's not wanting to caps lock. I apologize. Premier Title. I always just put Premier Title. Okay. Well, no, actually, that's right. Premier Title here. Jessica Rosenbaum here. Most of the time they do have the address, which I believe they did. And let me just see real quick. Yeah, I'll be able to just copy and paste the entire address that's right here. They're in Port Charlotte, the title company. All right. Phone number, which we have here. They're required to put a phone number and an email to contact them, which would be here. And then we're going to, put in their email address, which is here. Just very thorough, as we should be. Okay. All right. Initial deposit. Well, we're not going to accompany the offer because we're going to wait for the 3 days of left blank, but we're going to click here. It will be delivered to escrow within 3 days. I always recommend, and we'll go over this tomorrow night, never leave a field blank, even though if it's a default, I say you always fill in the box. But we'll go over that again tomorrow night. But I always say, make sure you fill it in. Don't just leave it as in blank. I see that all the time, and that's not, yeah. I don't recommend that. But we did skip something. I apologize because I don't use the vacant land contracts all the time, so I apologize. So I'm gonna go to your text message for the purchase price amount that you talked about. Let me get that real quick. So you said offer at 6,500, 6,500.00. Okay. And we're going to do a deposit of $1,000, as you indicated that your buyer was looking for. Right. All right, $1,000 escrow. You're not doing. No. Let me just double check here. All right. Balance to close would be 6,500 minus the 1,000. Just put the comma in there. And balance to close would be 5,500. 5,500 because we are putting $1,000 escrow in title, or $1,000 in escrow. So it'll be cash. We don't need the F, the time for acceptance. We'll put tomorrow's date. Closing date, you said 4 weeks. So let's say we get an offer accepted, hopefully today, a month from now. Let's put it on the 28th of February, since February has 28 days. All right. Oh, here we go. These contracts are a little bit different than residential contracts. Buyer will pay cash on this line right here. It's not going to let me highlight it, but you can see buyer will pay cash. There's no finance involved, so we can go past this. No mortgage assumption. All right. Title. Seller has the legal capacity to and will convey marketable title to the property. And we'll do special warranty deed for your liens, easement, encumbrances of record are known to seller. Title evidence. The party who pays for title, owner's title insurance probably will select the closing agent and pay for the title search, including tax and lien search, including municipal lien search form, and all other fees charged by closing agent. Seller will deliver to buyer at seller's expense because we're using the seller's title company within, let's just put 15 days after effective date. Okay. And we'll do a title insurance commitment by a Florida licensed title insurer setting forth these matters to discharge. And we're not lawyers, so we can't interpret this. Okay. So if the buyer has any legal questions, recommend that the buyer let them know that we're not attorneys, and to let have them reach out to an attorney for questions on defining or interpreting the contract. We cannot. All we're allowed to do is to fill in blanks, and an attorney would be the one that has to interpret, a Florida attorney. We'll just put within 10 days for title examination. And we'll put in 20 days here. Okay, so you said 10 days for, oh, here we go. Due diligence, property condition. All right, due diligence period. We're going to click this box, 9A1. Buyer will, at buyer's expense, and within, you said 10 days, after effective date, and in buyer's sole and absolute discretion, determine whether the property is suitable for buyer's intended use. Buyer may conduct a phase 1 environmental assessment and any other test, analysis, surveys, investigating the buyer deemed to determine buyer's satisfaction. Okay? And the buyer would have to pay for those items. All right? So we want the due diligence period, which we put 10 days in there. Let me have one. Let's see. All right. So we're going to go. Oh, here we go. Coastal construction line. If any part of the property lies seaward, she'll provide the buyer with an affidavit required by law delineating, sorry, the line's location on the property. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. We're just going to we're not checking that box. So we want them to have it look, because this is about, protection of marine turtles, scrub jays. All right. For special assessments by public body, I would recommend seller will pay the assessment in full or before the time of closing. So I check the box for seller. Ooh, let me check it again because it's unchecked. Okay. All right. So we're not attorneys, so we can't interpret the contract. We just fill in the blanks. All right. We're going to put your information in here. No, I don't need it on. EH. All right. Let me get your. I'm going to get your license number. Yeah, you may not be able to see that, but I can see that. Surprisingly enough, I can see that. Where is it? I don't know how I can see that, but I can see it. SL3519. 3519. So I obviously have to keep you guys' 010. License status on file. So you're on the buyer side. And I will take this from here. Not that I don't have it memorized, it's just that it's a lot easier for me to just do this. Go back to yes. And I've got your number here. I'm gonna put that in there. 954 850 9817 9817. All right, downtown. Sorry. Expert Realty LLC. And the buyer's brokerage address, so it would be 5495 Dr. MLK, Junior Street South, St. Petersburg, Florida. Sorry. 33705. We don't need any there's no additional terms here. The buyer, we're going to go ahead and assign this to Belinda Georges. Oh, yes, we will have to go back in. Let me see here real quick. That's the other thing I didn't do. But that's not a big deal. It's not going to take long. So we're going to go here, and you have to remember here, we have to put the initials for the buyer here. So Belinda Georges. Now we're on the second page. Sign Belinda Georges. Buyer Belinda Georges. Okay. Buyer Belinda Georges. Buyer Belinda Georges. Buyer Belinda Georges. We already got your information in here. We're going to have to put initials here for her as well. Melinda Georges. All right, so we're going to add her here as well. Remember, save. Okay. We always have to remember to save. It's important. So we're going to send this over to the buyer. We got the vacant land contract, wire fraud, COVID. Let me just double check on this right here. I think we have to put this in here. No, we don't need this because we're transaction broker, so we don't need that one. Okay, so we're going to do the vacant land contract, wire fraud. All right. And I'm going to click on share to Belinda Georges. She can sign. We checked her box here. I'm hitting share. So now she has that. Okay. All right. So that's that for that. I sent that out. I will text you with updates, and then I look forward to our training tomorrow evening.